Oh, God. Alright, I'm suffering sage. The last video dragged on forever because they had me read like these two giant thesaurus pages and it took me forever to read them. And before I knew it, a whole damn hour went by. Literally. So, they had me read a story about Skara, I guess. I call Scaramouche Skara for short. And apparently he must have been doing some mysterious shit 400 years ago, because they said they took him to Tatsuna and then a bunch of shit happened there. So I'm guessing after A sealed his powers and she set him free, he lived there, and then that's when shit went wrong. From what I just read, it went wrong quickly. Like, very quickly. He was dark and twisted from the beginning. If you see the last video of what I read about how he caused Nagamasa to slay Katsuragi, and he was like, look at me, I'm mysterious. So I don't know. Anyway, we were trying to talk to this guy here because we heard them talking about Tatsuna, and we're like, why would somebody in Sumeru be talking about that? And he was like, if only I could find that traveler. And then we just showed up and we're like looking for me. So we literally just fell on this guy's plate in front of him as he asked for it. It's like walking into a restaurant and saying, if only I could have a carrot cake, and then somebody just happens to walk out with it. Like, yeah, that's what happened.
Wait, you're not just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Yeah, sounds more like a novel. Has this guy ever written any essay before? Every time I say essay, I just keep thinking of the things that Hispanic men say to each other. I mean, I'm also from Hispanic origin because my family's mixed with different races, but like, that's all I hear, man. The word is ruined for me, kind of like the word daddy is ruined for me. Every time I hear that word, I wanna die, because it's ruined. Oh, the word is. I just hate when people take innocent words and they turn it into fucked up shit. And I think everybody can agree with me. Like the word beaver, it's the name of an animal, yet it's also what people use to refer to women parts. And I can't unhear it now. There's a lot of words in the English dictionary that are forever ruined for me, and it's a drag, man. But what can you do?
Akabala, look, your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
I'll leave you to it.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay!
Oh my god.
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
I'm getting the fuck out of here. Leave now, please leave quickly. I am being watched, aren't I?
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the balladeer, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh?
No.
After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point
They had the exact same reaction that I did.
Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like...
Please don't. Yeah, I see him. Well, remember, he still retained his god powers. That's what Nihida was trying to tell me. I don't know if I recorded it or not, but after you defeat him, if you go back to the Shrine of Sarasana and you talk to her, and she's like, your brother's from this world, but you're not. Then she's like, oh, by the way, he fell into a coma and I hit him as one would hide a feather. But he did achieve godhood, so he retained all of his god abilities. You know, being able to appear randomly like a ghost. He's been able to do that and has been able to do that. Because remember, he was originally created to be a vessel for the Electronosis anyway. That was his whole purpose, was to become the new Electro God. He was designed for that whole reason, for that purpose. So even though he did attain godhood by, you know, therefore, he didn't technically steal the Gnosis because Yai gave it to him to trade for us. She's like, if you give me the Traveler, I'll give you this. So to spare our life, because he was going to kill us, she gave it to him. And then he used the power from it. But it's not really like he stole it. You can't be mad at him. That's what his role was. He was created for that anyway. It's like creating a key in a lock. The key is destined to open the lock. That's what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? So by giving the lock the key, what do you think is going to happen? So he's retained that. So what's funny is he's actually locked up, but he actually kind of isn't. Because he's able to, like, his body is locked up, but he's like astral projecting, where he's been walking around the city the whole time free, and nobody else notices. The only people that can see him are ones that came into contact with this consciousness, and there's only, I want to say 3 people, technically 4. The first person to come in contact with his consciousness was Hephaestus. Then the 3 next people were Lumine, Paimon, and Nahida. Because when Hephaestus was like, look at this incense, I've touched God, and she showed it to us, we therefore established a connection. But I feel like maybe Paimon and Nahida actually don't, because the only reason why Lumine can truly see him is because she touched Hephaestus, therefore connecting her to him. She was connected to his consciousness from before, but that's what still kind of doesn't make sense, is they kind of said in the storyline that the only reason why Lumine could see Skara was because she touched Hephaestus directly. And he's like, I'm connected to your consciousness, ho ho ho. But Paimon never touched her. Nahida never touched her either. That's why when we were talking to him, we told Paimon, hey, shut up a minute. She's like, who are you talking to? And we're like, shut up. He's literally right here. And she's like, what? Where? And she couldn't see him. So now I'm even more frustrated, because how could Paimon see him now then? Paimon literally just saw him. And I feel like there's a loophole happening in the story right now, because, yeah, you could say it was from the incense that Hephaestus used to allow us to see the vision, but that still doesn't make sense, because Paimon never touched Hephaestus, ever. The only one who ever touched her was me, Lumine. So how can Paimon see him right now?
The Bombardier! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
I have a look on my face as if I don't want to go, but you're gonna make me anyway. What? Oh. 4-4, that's the last one. But it ain't enough, because I was at 52. Or no, wait. This is a joke. What am I at the bottom? 62. Okay. I don't know. Should I put Lumine in? I mean, I don't think I have to fight anyone. But my Hazo's kind of strong. He could be better, but you know. Is it here? And he became one with a door. Watch him be like, why are you following me, you freak? But like that guy was saying, he still has his god powers. He still has the ability to astral project. And Nahida basically told us that last time. So like I said, locking him up does you no good. If somebody can astral project out of their body, you can't stop that. You really can't. That's a joke. No, come the fuck on. He's there. Why am I running?
Traveler, Paimon, there you are.
You sent him out to lure us here, I bet.
Nahida, bad news. We just saw the Balladeer strolling around in public.
He was standing to the left. He's still there. You can't see him behind Paimon's head, but I can see it.
Did he escape or... Ah, it's him!
Man, why does she have to make a big deal about everything?
Sure enough, you're here.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Suristana? Aren't you supposed to be laughed at? I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, doing? It was my idea to set the Balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me.
Oh my god.
A deal? You sure you trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about.
Why are you sounding like Shao all of a sudden?
But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down?
No.
But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Can I hang him now, please?
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us! As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the Balladeer.
Well, I did see you give the electronosis away to that other guy, so that other guy is a lot worse, the doctor guy. Does he know that you did that, by the way? He doesn't know that she did that, does he? He's gonna be super pissed off when he finds out.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Oh, he does know.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time.
I hate you.
The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious position. Plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond. Wait a second. Farmer? You mean he's not a Harbinger anymore? I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
So, he tossed you out like trash.
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui. And also between each of the Harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be.
Really? What a crying shame.
Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Yeah, obviously! Nahida, don't listen to him! Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
Like a little dog.
Nahida, are you serious about this? Yes.
So then I'm like, alright, bye, and just walk out.
I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit.
Me?
Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul. Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update on that? Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect, The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be able to find it more quickly.
What if he lies to you?
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him! He's treated us as enemies every time we run into him! I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all.
Right, because you can read thoughts.
Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns. As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it. It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it.
Well, not only that, aren't we the first sage of her? We're like one of her sages. We're like the first one, literally.
I'm still worried about this idea. Is there anything we can do to help? I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection.
Actually, no. We followed Skara here. Come on.
In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned.
Oh, no.
Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside.
Alright.
Great. Thank you. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
I am not ready for this. Like, he's a character I like and everything, but at the same time, I'm like, you stay 1,500 million miles away from me. He's not... I agree, he's not somebody I really trust. He's somebody I would want to try to sympathize with and understand, maybe over time. I would come to, like... I don't know, like, appreciate him as someone close to me, but even then, I feel like he doesn't take anything seriously, so it wouldn't work.
It looks pretty different here compared to last time.
I'm actually
The
here.
colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
I'm gonna let her talk for a minute. Yeah, when I came here originally, it was like all red and there's blocks everywhere. What do they want me to do this?
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Actually, no. Nahida sent me here to babysit you.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smart!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards, but right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
No.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous.
Greetings from the sky!
I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru.
They're right, it does look completely different. Originally, it was like red and everything.
Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through.
This is not gonna end well, is it?
I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety as anything else.
Understand.
Fine. Let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are gonna be traveling together after all.
I want to hang myself from this tree.
Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
Are you trying to throw her a compliment by saying that? Because it's fucking weird. Stop it.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring than us.
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going.
Oh my fucking god.
Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
I want to hang myself from this tree.
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
There's no need for all the biting sarcasm, or focus on doing your job. What would I say in this situation? He's the one who keeps saying that it's us. He's like, why don't you back off? Why won't you leave me alone? Why won't you fuck off? He keeps saying that it's me. He's like, you're the one, you're the one, you're the one, you're the one, you're the one! But it's not really me, actually. I'm trying to be a little understanding. The one who was freaking out about, him talking to Nahida was actually Paimon. She was the first one who said something. I actually didn't say anything, so I don't know why he's getting mad at me. Just focus on doing your job, loser.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Oh my god.
Is this a small sapling?
It says nothing.
Darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him.
I like how I didn't say anything. I'm just like, focus on doing your job, loser. I think this is where he gets his animal vision, because as of right now, he doesn't have it. Something happens in here, though. I've seen a little clip of it. Something happens. I'm not going to say what it is.
Wow.
Oh my god.
So this is the inside of Irminsul.
It's different than what I imagined.
Ooh. Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
I'm gonna say this just now, right now, and I've said it before. I know that they want Paimon to be like the sidekick who says everything that you don't say, but I feel like she fucking ruins the mood. I don't have anything against the voice actress. I don't have anything against the character. It's just, I feel like I can't fully experience what's happening because she's too busy saying shit all the time. And it's like, Lumi never says anything, or rather what character you play as, Lumi and Ether. They're quiet. And she's always like, it's like this, or it's like that. And I'm like, can you shut up and let me experience this fucking moment by myself, please? You're kind of interrupting it by talking. Because if I was really in this situation, I would be very quiet, because I'm here with the son of a bitch who I don't trust, and I'm here with somebody who ruins every moment, so I wouldn't be saying anything.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
I want to strangle you with that cord. I want to strangle you so hard. I want to wrap that red cord around your neck and watch you struggle as I kill you. Anyway.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
God, it's like we're in a digital saga where we live in a computer system.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
You know, it's like Code Lyoko, like, I'm initializing myself into a computer world.
Hey, so, say we did go running off in here. What would happen? What are you smirking at?
He's like, you die horribly.
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost.
Oh, is he gonna do something to her? I don't want to think about that.
Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, Your best option is to stick close to me.
I get like you're trying to make this seem romantic, but I absolutely refuse you in every way possible. That would never happen even if you wanted it to. Just, I better fucking walk. I can't move. Yeah, I see it. God, this is the slowest.
These sapling things have spread out.
Fragments have dissipated in the space. What?
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
Oh no. Oh shit. Location change have been transported to another path. What I mean is they appear randomly in front of me, so if I accidentally hit it, I'm probably gonna die. I can't move her any closer to him, by the way.
It looks the same in every direction.
Seems... Yep, that's her inner thinking. So he told me not to touch it, right?
No wonder you mentioned about getting lost. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth.
Do you have to say everything like that out loud?
Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
See how she's ruining the moment
There's a
here?
time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little?
Never. Never, dear. Oh!
We're here.
I hate when they do that. So there's an automatic walk sequence in this game where you, even if you hold the joystick forward like the full amount, like as if you were running, it makes the character walk slow. So every time the what you would call walk simulator segment ends and you keep pushing, when it ends, you'll immediately sprint forward. And it's gotten me killed one time where I was following somebody and the event ended and I kept running and she fell off the cliff. And it made me restart it all again.
What a huge tree!
It looks more like something you would see at a fucking Horizon Zero Dawn, or there's a deer boss enemy in Elden Ring that kind of has horns like that. It reminds me of a lot of things, honestly. It really does. I can't pinpoint exactly, but there's several things I've seen in other games and stuff that have weird markings like that. It's almost like the old, like, Hylian language from, like, Legend of Zelda. Especially, like, the names of the things in Breath of the Wild, the shrines. They have weird markings on the outsides. And it kind of reminds me of that. I mean, it's not the same, but curvature. This is the center of Irminsul. All the information in the world is flowing through it.
Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
Ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
Is it just me, or is his voice different? I don't remember it being so showish. It's very showish, and I don't know how I feel about it. What I mean by Shao is because Shao is voiced by a girl, but you figure that you have to make your voice deeper to get that tone like this. But, like, that's what it sounds like he's talking like. Like, it sounds like he's pulling his voice down deep into his throat, like right when your clavicle bones meet, like that little space where your neck goes in, right above it. If you pull your voice down and you grab your voice and you pull it down like this, it starts to sound like that. So everything he says sounds like this. And I don't know why.
The Balladier's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
Can you shut up for a fucking moment? He hasn't put up any resistance, and he seems good at working on the front line. Maybe he had a similar role in the Fatui. First Akaba and Sawada's stories, now this. What a strange individual. She looks like she's burning with, like, anxiety. She has this look on her face where she's like, ah!
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
He's a lying son of a bitch.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
I mean, I get that she's here because she's her friend, you know, like every time you go into a situation, like if you're in school or at work or somewhere, and you're like giving a presentation or doing something in general, really, and you're by yourself, it does seem awkward. So I feel like, I know they put her here to keep us talking, but sometimes I feel like at certain points, not every point, certain points it kind of feels like it ruins that, because you just want to be standing quietly trying to observe, but how can you observe if you have somebody distracting you? It's like doing surgery while talking to your best friend about cake.
Traveler,
how can you focus?
Would you like to talk?
Nahida, is this a telepathic conversation?
Yes. I've also invited Paimon to join.
What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
What was that fucking stiff turning? What was that? Oh my god. I'm guessing that you don't want us to disturb him.
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
Yes, and he seems to excel at doing odd jobs for others.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers.
That he gets his animal vision and turns into a psycho? Waiting for that cutscene. Is it about his past, the betrayals, and the other events in Inazuma?
Well done. Smart and attentive as always.
Actually, I caught a glimpse of a few things when I ran into Aphasia at Partis-Di. You relate what you saw in Balladeer's mind while in Partis-Di.
So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today.
Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Well, it's kind of fucked up to think that somebody doesn't have feelings just because of their origin. Everyone has feelings. Everyone gets mad. Everyone gets sad. Everyone grieves. Everyone can be happy. Everyone is capable of every emotion, really. You can't just count them based on their appearance, race, gender, or where they even come from. It's kind of fucked up to say shit like that. And yeah, he was created by the Electro Archon. He's basically a doll. But don't you think he has a soul? I want to think so.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
I literally just said that.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
Tell Nahida about the story about Akaba and Sawada are writing.
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
But are they right, though, about him saying he turned into a phantom and made Nagamasa slay Katsuragi? Are you saying that that really happened?
So the Genshin got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Because you can hear it.
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation.
We have every right to keep certain things confidential.
Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
I feel like this line would have been better if there was reverb on it. Have you heard anything? Echoes like fucking 10 times.
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
But how can that be? Nahida said that Ether was from to that, but I wasn't. That doesn't make any sense.
Wait! How did you know about that? Didn't Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you.
Every conversation with you is hard work. But your attitude is better than I thought. What? What? Well, we don't know much about him. I shouldn't give him a hard time. I should... Let's flatter his ego a little bit. Well, you're not as bad as I thought you'd be.
Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage.
You know, I've been hurt too. I've been hurt and lied and betrayed. I do sympathize with you more than you know. I know I have my thoughts and I don't really trust him too much. If I was Lumion, I would be having this heat shake quiver all over my skin, which I do. But at the same time, I want to try to understand him and I want to try to let him know that I understand. But the reason why I don't is it feels like somebody like him would not give a fuck. But if you could prove to him that you really care, maybe he'll change his mind.
Huh?
After all,
Wait.
every heart of ice can be thawed. Something's gonna happen.
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Didn't he tell us when those things were rising up out of the pathway not to touch them? So what is it doing here?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with us.
Paimon, will you shut up and let him do his fucking job? He didn't even say anything. He doesn't know what it is, and you're just, like, going off on him. You see how annoying it is?
Shh. Just wait.
That's what I'm saying! He hasn't even said anything! And she's just like, will you just let him finish? I hate the fact that I said that.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
What is this voice? What is this voice? It feels like somebody trying to talk deeper than what their actual voice is, and you can tell.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
See what I mean? Do you see the deepness? When somebody is talking deeper than their normal voice, it's obvious. I hate to say that. It's obvious. It's almost like those people that get casted in roles where they have to voice somebody who's like obese or something, and they try to talk like a fat person, which I think is fucked up, because fat people have their own unique voice. Just because you're big doesn't mean your voice sounds like this, you know, like I'm Zhu from Dynasty Warriors and Celso, my lord. Like, I fucking swear to God! It's from when he was there. He was there, remember? That name. Niwa's the man in charge of Tatara Suna, plus he belongs to the lineage of Ishin art.
Whoa!
Shut up, Paimon, you're ruining the moment again! That is the fourth fucking time she's ruined this to me. Oh, I'm being transported into a memory.
I have been in Tatara Suna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place, like a giant village. People are gainfully employed, their lives have purpose. They are motivated. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatara Suna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown. All passing on their legacy. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me. And now, every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging methods.
That song that always plays when you're inside a dreamscape, they have it so perfect that it really does feel like you're in a dream, and if you listen to it long enough, it'll make you fall asleep. It's done that to me one time, where I woke up and I was like, what? And it was like fucking like 6 in the morning, and I was like, what happened? I laid down like around like 12 or something, and when I woke up, like fucking 7 hours had gone by. It was 6, but you get it. That's what it felt like to me.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma, and it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
So you say, Escher. But is this really the truth?
So I know about Nagamasa, Mikoshi, Niwa, and Katsuragi. They were the 3 main people in the story, but this Escher person is the 4th one who was inserted, and he was not mentioned. I don't actually know who he is. He was not mentioned at all. Maybe that's the missing link we need to hear here.
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected, because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope, but that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
Oh, he looks like, I'm so evil, look at me.
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
The whole time I've been watching this, the only one that has a weapon in the scene is Escher, and he's like, let me pull out my dagger and slash it.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
Torichio? Didn't they say her name was Chio, unless that was a nickname? The fact that they're calling her a yokai is it's turning into Neo 2 like Mikoshi. What I think that was Miyoshino was her name. But she was like a shifling yokai. She was like human with horns. Like, is that what this is? Like, she was like a demon person. Because if that's what they're going for, then I perfectly understand it. Because I like things like that, especially if it comes from like Neo 1 and 2. I love the storylines in those games and the way that plays out and the mechanics and everything. So if we're talking like half human, half demon people, I absolutely believe it immediately. I'm like, yeah, I could see that being real. I could see them really existing. I believe it. I totally do.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine. Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem.
If it's Tatara Suna, are they talking about that giant furnace thing that I repaired with that other guy? That went out of control? Is that what they're talking about? Because I did that quest. I was the one who fixed it. because it was out of control and was causing electro energy to destroy everything. But I went and repaired it over time. But it is still like this constantly, forever unstable thing.
I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Why would he?
Drop the act. We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatara Suna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Is he gonna do the thing I said he was gonna do?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment.
Oh no. I told
A
you.
moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You!
I told you.
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguise myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity.
Are you Scar?
And what I seek in Tatara Suna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet. You're a human. You're just missing a heart.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by all this? Why go to all this trouble?
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a carefully controlled experiment. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
Oh, I know you now. Because he has multiple forms of himself.
The Fatui? What do you want?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
I should have recognized by that voice, but I didn't.
That's it. That's why you gave us your cursed technology? Just to let loose the evil energy from the crystal marrow?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet. Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
If you give him my heart, tell him that both Nagamasa and I see him as one of us. He has nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone just wants to use other people. The only ones who think like that
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to defeat. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa? Already dead. What a pity.
There he is. So he has the ability of disguise, too? I mean, I knew he could create clones of himself, but he can straight up change his appearance now? When was that established? Literally, when?
Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was.
So they gave his heart to Skara? Why would you do that?
I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
Oh my god. Are we gonna be transported back out? Uh-oh.
Hey,
Are you alright?
Dottore.
He's losing it.
Dottore! Good. Good.
was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine?
He was the one behind the Tatarusuna incident.
But why do we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so, but it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
This betrayal was a lie that he never believed for hundreds of years. Was this part of the doctor's experiment? If the betrayal never happened, it existed only in his imagination. But where does this leave him?
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him right now.
Okay, let's go over there.
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Yeah, otherwise he might latch out at me.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up?
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the kabuki mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as the mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the balladeer became the main test subject. After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it has protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatara Suna without looking back.
Holy moly. So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
Being betrayed and abandoned by a close friend is sure to cause great resentment. Now we know what was behind his decision to take revenge on the riot in Gakuden 100 years ago. But it doesn't mean that vengeance was the right decision.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Totoro, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Should I... A while later.
Shall we see how he's doing?
There is something that happens where he goes psycho and he gets his animal vision, but I don't want to ruin it, so I'm not gonna say no.
Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend.
We just want to make sure this doesn't affect the plan.
It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, aren't you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Teyvat.
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Not expected, but still, thank you.
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
This seems like a fucking ploy.
Huh? About what?
The reason why there are records about your brother in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world. Plus, he only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your brother for a time.
The Jester? Another for To Be Harbinger. I'm gonna just say why.
I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this.
Okay, geez, calm down, my god.
Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
What the fuck is with these angles?
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me.
What do you want to know?
Give me your hand.
Okay.
Can you hear my voice inside your head?
Yes? Are you trying to brainwash me?
No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you.
Look at Paimon's face!
So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past?
Wait, why would you ask that?
Done.
Huh? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
That sounds fucking wrong, dude.
Nothing. I was just thanking her for helping me.
I fucking can't with this. Wait, that look, did he see me hesitate? But that was because I know about Greater Lord Ruka